Welcome back. This is the time we find out what we got wrong and what we may have missed. From TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye News Deck. Andy, I hope you're there.
I'm here, Tom.
Wonderful.
Tom,
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. New Hampshire primary. So nice job with Ed Henry there, Tom.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
I almost felt like a real reporter.
Yeah, no, you weren't. Ed was.
He's the reporter.
I think Ed kind of showed what a real reporter
Those
looks
people
like.
are so good at what they do, Andy.
People
Yeah,
really,
they can stand there in a
Really?
noisy room and they can just talk, Andy.
I know, it's amazing. Yeah. He did one thing. He said that both you were talking about the possible campaign, the staff shakeup.
Yeah.
For Hillary. And, you know, he said that the reports are that both Bill and Hillary aren't unhappy with the message that's coming out of the campaign. And then you brought up the Axelrod quote, and he also suggested that maybe it's the candidate, not the staff.
Yeah.
I just don't see how that's possible.
How could it be?
No.
I mean, she's so good at what she does, right?
It's just, it reeks of sexism to suggest such a thing. Hey, that reminds me, you know, Carl Cameron, his nickname, of course, famously is Campaign Carl.
Campaign Carl, yeah.
Ed Henry's out there on the trail, working it every day, busting his butt, and he doesn't have a nickname.
No nickname.
Yeah.
You're right.
Doesn't seem fair.
We should think of a nickname for Ed Henry.
I like it.
Yeah? What do you think, Andy? Any,
I have some ideas. I don't know if you want to hear them or if...
Let's put it out there, Andy. Hashtag Campaign Carl.
All right.
And then our fans, I want you to come up with a name for Ed Henry. What's your first choice for Ed Henry? I know you got some in your head.
Me?
Yeah.
I think Election Ed.
Election Ed. Yeah. Okay, that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
that's good. No, Andy, that's a great name.
It's the obvious one that you didn't think of.
I know, Andy. Well, let's see if our Red Eye fans hashtag Campaign Carl, and then put Ed Henry's campaign name in there.
All right. Sounds good. They should tweet that at Red Eye FNC.
Yes.
Yes.
Certainly not at me. I want to make that very clear.
Okay.
All right, Tommy, you know what, I'll get to you because I want to get the panel involved. Kennedy, you said you guys were talking about Rubio's little thing where he repeated the same thing over and over and over. Hi, Kennedy. Hi. Always a pleasure. Yes. You said you heard from some establishment Republicans who told you, hey, Rubio actually had a great second half of the debate.
Yeah.
I thought that was true.
So do they.
Did you not think he had a great second half of the debate?
No, I thought he actually had a very competent second half of the debate. I think they were wishfully hoping, wishing and hoping, as it were, that people would only focus on the second half.
Right, well, that was never going to happen.
You know, that's like focusing on the second half of the play that Abraham Lincoln was watching.
Yeah. Too soon.
Too soon. Apologize. I'll send a note to Mary Todd.
Kat, I don't think Rubio was saying, as you seem to suggest he was, that Obama is involved in a secret conspiracy to destroy the country. And I've been instructed to say that if that is what he was saying, he is completely crazy and wrong.
That is what he was saying.
Again, I have been instructed to say that that is completely crazy and wrong.
Well, I guess you just called Rubio some names.
Tom, in defending Rubio's debate performance, you said, well, politicians repeat themselves all the time.
Yeah.
The problem isn't that he repeated his talking point. It's that, first of all, he did it verbatim. And it's it's not one sentence. It's not even Christie saying, I was a federal prosecutor, where you're like, okay, shut up. But it was like a paragraph worth that he repeated word for word.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem to, like, he didn't recognize that that's what he was doing. That was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta shake it up. Like if Christie's gonna hammer him on that, then your comeback should be, well, you can hammer me on that all you want, but the fact remains, and then say your talking point. He didn't do that. He just launched right back into it.
I think that some of these politicians, they say the same thing at every stump speech over and over, that they forget that they, you know, like when you have several shows a night, you ever do this? You're on your third stand-up show, and you're like, have I already done this material? You don't know if you've done it before. You can't remember.
Yeah, and then you got to repeat yourself a whole bunch, and it turns into a night full of alcohol.
Turns into. That's
It turns into it.
Yeah.
It starts that way, too.
Yeah.
All right, Hillary's war on women. First of all, as a ninth wave feminist, I have to give props to my second wave sister, Gloria Steinem.
Oh, she's only second? That's right.
That's what she is. She's
Betty Friedan is first wave.
no, she's also
No,
second.
she's actually negative second wave.
They're
Betty
both
Friedan.
second wave feminists. Be quiet, woman.
Why? Because they didn't knit the original American flag?
No, because they weren't from the late 19th century, early 20th.
The temperance movement. Actually, you don't know that they weren't from the 1930s.
Well, all right.
A lot of mysteries.
Wiki!
Kennedy, you said if there's a special place in hell for women who don't help women, then there's a place for Hillary for paying her female Senate office staffer 76 cents to every dollar she paid the men.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't do as good a job.
Probably
I'm just
not.
putting
You
it
know,
out
those lazy broads with their hormones.
Yeah.
You just ask Gloria Steinem. They can't. They're only in Washington for the boys. They're
Yep.
not there to
Just looking
make hope and change.
Just looking to shack up and have some kitties. Ben, lovely joke about Madeleine Albright's appearance.
Thank you so much. I got a lot of flack during the commercial
Yeah.
break.
Might have meant more if it hadn't been coming from Sasquatch, but you know, whatever.
Well, see, now that's the third time and it's done. I've been called a Yeti, a Sasquatch, and whatever the other one is.
Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer?
Sasquatch.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
That's fine. I think Madeline can handle it.
All right.
She can squash me like a bug if she wants.
Okay. Narelle doesn't like the Super Bowl ads. The two best Narelle tweets, by the way, they retweeted the account for the IFC show Portlandia, saying there's no halftime in the fight for women's rights. I guess they don't know that Portlandia kind of satirizes stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. I thought that was fun. Last story was something about laws Tom doesn't like, so he pretends they're bad for women. I really wasn't paying attention or something like that. Tom, you said, quote, when lawmakers try to protect people, they almost always hurt them, unquote.
There you go.
So I assume you're opposed to the Texas law in question here, the one that, as you said, imposes new restrictions on abortion providers in the name of safeguarding women's health.
I am, and I'll tell you why. And I didn't want to get into the weeds of this bill, but I prefer if they're fighting, laws for fetuses, they should go ahead and say that they're protecting fetuses, not that they're protecting women's health, because we all know that's what they're doing.
All right. Kennedy, you talked about the unforeseen consequences of laws that are aimed at helping people.
Yes.
Don't you think most of those consequences are actually foreseen, just usually by the people who oppose the laws?
That's a good point, but they're not the ones who put the legislation forward.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that vocal and emotional people who either influence or craft the legislation, they're the ones who refuse to use logic and employ foresight.
Yeah, it's just a lot of time you hear it talk about, whoa, those consequences were unforeseen, and you look back and you're like, no, a lot of people were saying that's exactly
Yeah, they
what
were right. But anyone who foresees the consequences is portrayed as a Cassandra.
Yes. Oh, I have to go.
Thanks, Andy. Time to take a break. An inclusive burlesque show when we come back. Can't wait.